Cook County Forest Preserve holds many natural wonders, and foremost in my mind is the Fountain of Youth there behind me. It's a hand-pump, ground-fed spring that some say have magical healing properties, some say was blessed by Pope John Paul II himself upon his visit to Chicago. And mostly I think people just think it's a good deal because the water's free. You come down here, you get your 5-gallon Mountain Spring bottle, you fill it up, and then you don't got to pay for nothing. So I think it's a combination of cheapskate-dom and a little belief in magic. Anyway, reporting live from the Cook County Forest Preserve, it's Asparagaceae. Have a good day. A portion of the ad read must be spoken directly into camera. Thanks to Birch for sponsoring this video. They are currently running their Memorial Day sale and have given me an exclusive discount for my followers. Use Birch Partner 27 to get 27% off your mattress. Birch Living makes fiberglass-free mattresses crafted with responsibly sourced materials such as organic cotton, organic wool, and 100% natural latex. Their mattresses are also free from polyurethane foams, which can cause harmful off-gassing. Talk about why you chose to partner with Birch. I was looking to upgrade my mattress, and I selected a more natural option. Talk about how Birch compares to your old mattress. It's more natural. Talk about how Birch mattress has improved your sleep and provide specific examples. I wake up with less aches and pains. Talk about how sleeping better has improved your life. I don't flip out in traffic no more since I started sleeping good on my Birch. With your Birch mattress, you get a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure you love it. The best part about all of this is that Birch delivers your mattress right to your door for free within the USA. They also offer in-home setup and removal to make your buying experience as convenient as possible. Action requirements bold as mandatory. I love my Birch mattress, and I think you would too. Check out birchliving.com / crime pays, I think. And use my exclusive code BirchPartner27 to get 20%, use Birch Partner code to get 27% off plus 2 free pillows with your mattress purchase during their Memorial Day sale. Thank you, Birch, for sponsoring.
Greetings from southeast Atlanta, Georgia. We're down here on Arabia Mountain. We got a big granitic knob. It's all polished, lubed up real nice. Welcome to another episode of Crime Pays, but Botany Doesn't. Today we're going to be looking at some of the plants down here. A lot of diversity, a lot of good stuff. All right? A lot of good stuff. We got this Packera right here. Packera dubia with those long leaves. Lamb's ear leaf. Little woolly shits with a long petiole. We got, there's the flowers on it. You can see it's a part of the Senecio clade, Uniseriate phyllories, and they're woolly all the way up and down. You got wool on them. Got a nice bed of moss. There's basically no soil here. We got Tradescantia, Ohiensis, Schoenolirium, all the members of which have pretty cool anthers. You know, got some nice stuff going on in those anthers. Got those looks like little fly fishing lures. Those filaments, but you could see some pollen in there too. Cool monocots, semi-succulent monocots. Got all different kinds of moss beds and stuff you could see up in the trees over there. We got Bignonia, capreolata, the plant they call crossvine, wonderful native vine, big corolla openings. It's a big tube, related to catalpa trees, and they're in the family Bignoniaceae, which is mostly tropical, but you get quite a few members up here. Look at this rich plant community. And this is a cool one. This is a relative of agave, Schoenolirium croceum. All right, in the agave subfamily of the asparagus family, Asparagaceae. You can see that green ovary in the center there, 6 yellow tepals, and those stamens picking up. I think the common name is sunny balls, shiny balls, something like that. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know why it's sunny or shiny, or I don't know what that's about, but it's a nice plant. It's a monocot. And it's a cool variation on a theme. Look at those somewhat glaucous leaves too. Sunny balls. Look at the buds before they open. Here's an interesting one, Linearia canadensis. The family is Plantagenaceae, the penstemon family. And you can see those flowers have those little purple nectar spurs on the end. Looks like a little mouth opening, and then there's a nectar spur on the end for whatever pollinates this. Probably just stick its little proboscis in or get out some nectar. Nice sound of gunshots in the background. It's the United States, you know. We got a whole gun fetish thing. Not shaming anybody. I'm just saying, you know, it's the gun kink. You got to get used to. It sounds like a fucking war zone, but someone's blowing some shit up there and having fun. Tradescantia again. Oh, it's nice. It's nice. But these rocky outcrops I like especially because you find a completely different composition of plants than you find in the surrounding dense forest. So to make it here, you got to have some adaptations. Okay, like that cactus over there, that Opuntia species. You see that little prickly pear over there? See, it's succulent, so it could just you know, suck up the water, hang on to it, and then wait out the periods when it dries out. But you know, it looks like we're about to get pissed on right now, so it's going to get some rain. Okay, this is the plant they call sparkleberry or sparkly balls. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't know, I just got that on the mind today. Sparkly balls. There's the flowers, Vaccinium arboreum, typical flower morphology for the Asteraceae, the blueberry family. See those pedicels, the green stalk that holds the flower, and you get that little, oh, they got little stamens. They got little stamens. Let's see what they look at all this. They got those inverted anthers. Those anther types are specific to Asteraceae as well, the blueberry family. Glabrous leaves. And you can see this is just literally growing out of a little crack, splitting open this granite, this 400 million year old granite. Here's a species of Grimmia, the moss Grimmia, which we get we get one Grimmia species in the peyote gardens of West Texas. This thing is coming back to life since it's getting wet. I just seen it 20 minutes ago and it was dry, much drier. That green was not lit up yet. It's a bearded moss. It's got hairs to help it resist drying out. That's another adaptation to growing in these dry sites. There's that Opuntia species. See what a glockid's like on there. What would happen if I put some in my urethra? See these little pockets of soil. It's like a planter, right? You know, like an inch or two deep of soil. Is this a little sedge? Well, it looks like somebody's dog left a little gift for us in there. Hey, better dog shit than human shit, right? Learned that after living out west for a while. Wonderful little moss bed. See, look at this. You got these little red Crassulaceae things. It takes a special something to be able to eke out a living in this kind of environment. See, this is why I like the rocky sites, and it's the same wherever you go. You got granite inselbergs like this in Brazil, South Africa, Western Australia, and the same shit. Different cast of plant species, but with similar adaptations in a similar habitat. You ever been? I remember this really cool granite inselberg I went to in Western Australia, surrounded by dense eucalypt forest, tiger snake infested eucalypt forest, eucalypt woodland. And then you get up on a granite knob, you find utricularias, you know, all kinds of cool carnivorous plants, orchids, all kinds of cool shit that can sit tight and hang out, grow in a relatively drier, thinner soiled area. Look at that Packera. That's nice. Those fucking blue leaves really got me. And then you got just, you know, you get your good old Juniperus virginiana. Let's take a look at this succulent bastard, this little annual Diamorpha smallii, Crassulaceae. Oh, it looks like it's in seed already. No, the flowers are. You can get an idea what the flowers are. Flush and red with stress pigments to deal with the fact it's not growing on any soil. Oh, there's some flowers still. There's a couple stragglers. That's nice. That's cool. Oh shit, 4 petals. What'd they say the name of this was? Elf or pie? Elf cream pie? What'd they call it? What is it? I don't know. Elf or pine. Or pine. That's what it is. That is, I'm obsessed with it. I like hairy plants because they're so drought tolerant. Oh, the dry shit. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. The blue, that layer of pubescence. Those strigos hairs. Reducing boundary layer humidity, helping keep the moisture in to help it deal with the fact that it's growing on basically a giant slab of asphalt granite. But you know what I mean. Oh, look, it's privet. Isn't it just so gorgeous? Isn't that why some knob planted it in their garden? It's because it's gorgeous. It's so pretty when it flowers. You know, it's like a fucking live, laugh, love sign. It's as beautiful as a live, laugh, love sign in an Airbnb. You know, that someone bought and is now on a hook for the mortgage, and just they don't know what to do with it. They're going to Airbnb it, and they just go with the basic colors, gray and black, and the plastic plants and shit, all this stupid, you know, Pier 1 import stuff, the horrible fucking, they all look the same. Sure, this plant's very important where it's native, but here it's garbage, and it needs to be cut down and stump sprayed with herbicide after you cut it, because this thing is reducing biodiversity everywhere. It's really bad in Texas too, like goostrum, like Oleaceae. It does smell nice, you know, but it's just escapee from, you know, horticultural atrocities. That's what I want. Give me islands of veg surrounded by an ocean of rock. 400 million year old intrusive igneous rock. Here goes that Schoenolirium, that agavaceous thing. I bet it's got a juicy root down there too, a little bulb. But it's a geophyte. That's how it deals with the thin soils growing in the little moss bed. But the moss looks, you know, it looks healthy enough. Man, I really like that thing. You know, I like the family, to be honest with you. You know, the whole family is, you know, there's no black sheep in that family. You know, there's no fuck ups. Cool lichens would be a nice spot to take acid. Take acid and just stare into the light. You don't gotta go big. Just take a little, you know, take a quarter tab or something. You know, just take it light. You know, you don't want to give your whole day. Just give it a couple hours. No one's got time for it anyway. Just microdose and stare into the lichens. Mononeuria right here. Caryophyllaceae. Look at that dainty little shit. That's a nice one, huh? Growing a little moss bed. Like an inch and a half of soil, if that. With all the other mosses and the dicanthelium, nice grasses. Schoenolirium, little agavaceous bastard right over there. See, post flower, and get seeds of that. This is a nice one. Chionanthus virginicus, related to ash trees in the family Oleaceae. And it's a dioecious species, which means the flower is either male or female. Oh, the plant is either male or female. It only produces one sex of flowers. And this appears to be a male. It looks like there's 4 stamens in there. 4 anthers. I pulled one apart. I could see a little pollen on the end right there. Showy and smells really good. And then the leaves, of course, are opposite. They got a little bit of pubescence on them. Opposite leaves. Well, they're kind of I guess they're slightly off. Yeah, opposite for the most part. Because Oleaceae, the olive and ash tree family, is in Lamiales, the order of salvian sages, which is so well known for having opposite leaves. But these are slightly off, but nonetheless, you can still see that pubescence on the stem right there, which is probably why it's growing here at the margin of this little granitic knob, and doing so well for itself, right next to a giant Vaccinium arboreum. That's nice. There's the grimmia, the little moss over there. You got your Tradescanthia. I think this is a Agrostis. No, what grass it is. Is this at the... This might be at the Schoenolirium. Oh, it's a monocot. Are the seeds black? Are they little black flakes? Can't tell. Anyway, this rock was all magma at one point, 400 million years ago, buried deep within the Earth's crust. It's got a large grain size because it had a very slow cooling time. You know, back in the days when Africa and North America were together, before they split apart, when the Appalachian Mountains were much taller. Actually, maybe the Appalachian Mountains didn't exist. This is 400 million years old. Maybe they were just Appalachian Mountains didn't exist. But either the point is, you get a bunch of these plutons, these bodies of rock, and when they formed and cooled, were very, very deep. It took upwards of 1 million, 2 million years to cool. And that's why you get that large grain size in the rock. The rock is black now because it's covered in a living film of cyanobacteria and lichens. But if you could look at the rock, you'd like fresh cut it open, you'd see a large grain size. And this granite is all throughout the region. You know, Stone Mountain, you know, famous for the KKK shitbags and all the other, you know, somewhat ugly history of the region. No offense, no offense. I don't want to trigger anybody. Somewhat ugly history, though. You know, Stone Mountain, same thing. Very old plutons. Very old plutons of granite. The fucking south. Oh, Jesus Christ. Every time I'm here, you get little reminders of that history. Plenty of wonderful shit, though, too. I'm just saying, you know, just saying. That rock is something else, though. Look at it. You could see where it's forming. When it gets wet, these little pools form. And it really is amazing. See the same thing in Western Australia. And Brazil. And other places. These granite outcroppings It's not always granite. Sometimes it's like a limestone glade, but the granite outcroppings seem to be the coolest. It's when you get these big knobs. Just because of the way granite weathers and erodes, you know? And you can imagine some Colonel Sanders looking motherfucker with a, white suit and a black bow tie who puts on a pillowcase and okay, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Of course, we got smilax. Are you the one that calls sweetbriar? I never pay attention to common names because they're so stupid most of the time, but you just call it smilax. But maybe is that what they call sweetbriar? Is that what that is? With the glabrous leaves? Liliales. Look at that thing. These things form big tubers down there. You could see, look at the thickness of that stem. You could tell that's coming from a big ass tuber down on the ground right there, embedded in the cracks, slowly spreading it apart like a hydraulic vise. How long does it take to wear something like this down? How many millions of years? To weather and erode rock like this? God, I love that Packera. Vaccinium arboreum. Got the Rubus down there, the native blackberry. Where'd it go? I just seen it down there. Little white berries. Or little white flowers, excuse me. Where the hell it went. Now these things, these little divots fill up with water after a good rain. It's been dry though, so they're not full right now. But when they do fill up, you get a really cool plant. It's a relative of Lepidodendron, the scale trees that built the coal beds of the Carboniferous, well, one of the main species, in those Carboniferous forests. Isoetes melanospora, family Lycopodiaceae. Well, it's Lycopodiales. It's in its own family, but Lycopodiaceae, it's a lycophyte. So one of the 5 major branches. You got your bryophytes, mosses, liverworts, ferns, non-vascular plants, because bryophytes technically just applies to mosses, but your non-vasculars, your mosses, liverworts, hornworts, then you got your lycophytes, the selaginellas, the isoetes, like here, and lycopodiums, and you got your true ferns, producing those haploid spores, and then you got conifers and then angiosperms. Well, gymnosperms and angiosperms to be more broad, but Isoetes melanospora looks like a little. It looks like a little green needle. You get some of the same species in the same genus at Enchanted Rock. Another stupid name for a place, but it's the same thing. It's a granite knob in Texas. Enchanted Rock. It sounds. You know what? It's Enchanted Rock. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like one of those scammy amusement parks, like in the Chicago region. They got one called Haunted Trails, but maybe they're being Enchanted Trails too. Same thing. You go on there. It's run by retired carnies. They're all doing coke in the back rooms. They got some nice games, but they're all rigged. It costs you 300 tickets to get like a plastic ball or so. Just real bad, but they got good pizza there. Enchanted sunny balls. Enchanted is not a piece of my day-to-day vocabulary, unless I was using it derisively, like enchanted sunny balls. Anyway, look at that. That's a wonderful landscape right there with the Packera and then the Vaccinium arboreum in the background. Sparkly bowls, sparkleberry, whatever the common name is for that. Wonderful vista right here. Wonderful mirador. Ah, there it is. Isoetes, descendant of Lepidodendron. Hello, sir. It's still alive. It's still hanging in there. The ones on the margin, see, this is still kind of wet. This soil, look, there's a little prickly pear growing there too. Amazing how that works. Soil's probably not very deep, maybe an inch, but out there, see, we got this little bank. We got this little, this is keeping it sheltered a little bit and more humid. But out there, it's getting cooked, so it's drying out quicker. It dries out at the margins quicker. It's already brown. Well, it's like a beige. But here, Isoetes melanospora reproduces by spores. It's not really a fern. It's a lycophyte. They're fucking weird enough. They're their own lineage. But that's this guy, he's got a long history, man. You go back to a Carboniferous. Ooh, someone's smoking reefer. I could smell that. Anyway, that's great. And same thing, and this is their ecological niche now. To be taken from such heights of greatness, forming the scale trees of the Carboniferous, and now, you know what? 300 million years later, you're growing in these little shallow soil divots on top of a granitic knob. You know, in Texas, in North Carolina, in Georgia, and wherever else. But you'll take what you can get, right? You've made it to the Anthropocene at least. And now they're gonna put a fucking Walmart and a Buc-ee's and a Dollar General right on your home, but you know, at least you made it. I'm just kidding. That silly species of bipedal primates, they've created the ugliest landscape in the first world. You know, some of the stuff they put out there. I tell you, the landscape of the United States, you know, if you've never been here, you gotta come here just to see what we've done with the joint. We have really ruined a lot of the land. Not here, of course, this is beautiful, but you know what I'm saying. Have you driven through the Sun Belt? Holy shit, is it ugly. Car dealerships, billboards, mini malls, strip malls, big box outlets, Hooters, the fucking, you know, any little bit of cultural detritus. Am I bumming you? This is the wrong time for it. Forgive me. Sorry, I can't help it. I should be taking this up with my shrink, not you. Go fuck yourself. Oh, there's a little pine coming up right there. So anyway, Isoetes, how does it bang? How does it get its spores out there? At the base of those leaves, there's you know, like a swollen leaf base. There's a little that's where the sporangia are. And Isoetes, like Selaginella, are heterospores, so they got basically male and female spores. Unlike most ferns, which are homosporous, they just produce all the same type of spore. All right, no differentiation between them. A lot of the lycophytes, I think it's just Selaginella and Isoetes maybe, have a lot of I don't think the Lycopodiaceae do it, but the Isoetes and Selaginella do. They've got a lot in common with angiosperms. Evolved some of these traits independently, because angiosperms are heterospores too. But with the higher plants, you know. So it's kind of, they're unique clade. They're not ferns. They're not ferns. It's the wrong way to think. They're not ferns. I don't know what a wart, I don't know what a quillwort is. I don't use that kind, just use Isoetes. They're fucking weird. They're lycophytes. One of 3 branches of lycophytes: the Selaginellas, the Lycopodiums, or Lycopodiellas, whatever, and then the Isoetes. 3 families. Here was one I found unearthed. I just wanted to show you the spore bag. No Isoetes were harmed in the filming of this video. We'll put it back. See the little black thing? That's a sporangia. So now we'll put this little guy back in there. But really unique, and so it's a really unique way of getting that out there, you know. You gotta appreciate these little guys. They're bizarre, especially this one. It's made it through many hundreds of millions of years of bullshit to get where it's at. Yeah, so now look, we got this nice moss bed, and we got sunny balls, our old friend Schoenolirium dominating. Yeah, definitely a geophyte. Definitely got a little onion-like bulb in the ground right there, and there's quite a few of them. There's that Packera again, dubious, Packera dubia, and Tradescanthi, of course, too, because it's got stem succulents. There's sunny balls everywhere. We got sunny balls right there. We got sunny balls right there. The Packera. A lot of so many sunny balls everywhere. They're not in flower anymore, but they're going to seeds. And then right here we got, these are Helianthus seedlings. Of course, Helianthus are fall bloomers, late summer fall bloomers. September, these will be going off. Real bangers, real showstoppers. Helianthus porteri, little seedlings. Look at those stiff little hairs on the leaves, just coming up right now. But again, to be blooming on a granite knob in late summer. I mean, Georgia does get summer rain, unlike some other environments I go through, but still, it's got to be hot as balls up here. And they're, that Helianthus, that sunflower, is going off. About 3 feet, 4 feet tall. Big yellow flowers. Here we got another smilax breaking up the granite. This one's flowering though, so you can actually get a look at those. You can get a look at the inflorescences here. You can see those juicy anthers sticking out of those 6-petaled flowers, 6-tepaled flowers. Just tiny little flowers though. You can see they're shedding a lot of pollen. And of course, you got a massive root down there, slowly breaking apart the granite. Here's an interesting one, Gelsemium sempervirens, in the family Gelsemiaceae, order Gentianales. You can see you got opposite leaves on there. Let's get a good view of the look, it's a vining. Big yellow flowers when it's going off. Supposedly it's psychoactive. Don't tell that accountant in Texas. He'll get a hard-on for it and try to ban it. Who's that guy with the jowls at Senator that made that Perry? Charles Perry? Chuck Perry. He's got a hard-on for... Oh, someone's blowing shit up behind me. Charles Perry. He's got a hard-on for anything that could be mildly psychoactive if you ingest it. Which I don't suggest you do, because a lot of stuff that's mildly psychoactive is also toxic. That's what those alkaloids evolved for anyways, to keep things from eating them. But Gelsemium sempervirens, only 3 genera in a family... Gelsemiaceae, however you want to pronounce it. You take your liberties, don't matter. But also a great native plant to use in cultivation. Vining, and it's got nice looking yellow flowers on it too. It goes all the way down into Mexico. Kind of, just following that Gulf of Mexico. I'm taking a leak, looking at the tulip Liriodendron flowers, the tulip tree flowers. Here, your magnolia flower structure on the ground. Where's the tree at? I can't see it. They got really nice bark. Someone was, I don't know if we had an active shooter scenario or what, but someone was taking shots. I heard the bullets whizzing over my head. The glory of living in America, where there's so much freedom to get randomly shot by passersby. It's just for the international viewers. Anyway, here's an interesting plant. This is the genus Kalmia Ericaceae, which is some real stunner of flowers, and is no doubt associating with plenty of cool mycorrhizal mushrooms in the ground. I think I'm getting shot at and then just casually go back to filming plants, You adjust. Okay, so we're ducking for cover now. We're down here. It was some kids, but it's the United States. You combine the fact that, most of the populace is dumb as a brick, and then there's a high degree of mental illness here too, because of just because of the natural state of things, consumer culture, lack of direction, severe disconnection from the rest of the land. It's just a consumer slum. I could go on, but you combine those with firearm ownership, you get shit like that, like kids shooting guns off at a fucking conservation area, a public conservation area where there's people all around. Not just target practice up against a mountain, but just shooting randomly into the air, and you have to, run for your life. I heard bullets whizzing by me and shit. The last time it happened to me, I was 17 in Chicago. Fucking morons. Anyway, Kalmia latifolia. Look at this though. This is a beautiful plant, and look at the unopened buds. Crazy architecture here. Wild. And so, looking in at those flowers, you've got how many stamens? Looks like 10 stamens, and then the style right there in the center with the green stigma and those red nectar guides as well. And then there's the foliage. There's another good example of why common names are shit. This is called mountain laurel and bears no relationship whatsoever, except for being an angiosperm, to Texas mountain laurel. The mountain laurel that's known in Texas, Dermatophyllum secundiflorum. So always good to at least learn a genus name, or especially know what family something's in. But regardless, it's a beautiful plant. Quite a few species in the genus Kalmia too, and no doubt mycorrhizal, like all of Ericaceae. Associating with ectomycorrhizal fungi, but in an arbutoid, well, not arbutoid, in an ericoid fashion. So where those ectomycorrhizal fungi actually go into the cortical cells of the root. Also in Ericaceae, like this Kalmia, is Oxydendron arboreum. It's fine. Well, you can see this one got knocked back. Something took it down, and then he just re-sprouted from the side. He looks healthy too. I wonder if that was rot or what. Who knows? Not in flower. It has little urceolate flowers that look like madrone flowers when it's going off, but quite distinct leaves. You can see it's got, look at that. Looks like stipules. Those are just other leaf bases. Let me see if I can find there you go. You can see kind of the stipules right there. See them looks like little green turgid hairs at the base of the leaves. Right here, it almost looks like a vine maple. It's Vitis rotundifolia, also known as muscadine. But it's a vitis, it's a grape. It can be really thick vines going all the way up, going 60 feet up trees in the forest. Really beautiful leaf shape though. Look at that, porocidal anthers on that Kalmia. Like so many members of Ericaceae, they got a pore at the end for buzz pollination. That's how they lose their pollen. That's how they dispense their pollen. Here we go. This is a cool one. Quercus georgiana, which is endemic. The population is endemic to these little granitic outcroppings. There's the female flowers. You can see, oh, I got to get money shots there. You can see the stigmas on them still, where the pollen gets deposited, and then you see the swollen ovaries, which will turn into acorns. But this is endemic to these little granitic outcroppings. So when you look at a population map of this species, you could basically, they correlate it with all these little granitic glade-like outcroppings. You can see it's growing at the margin of one right here. And this is a full-grown tree, about, I don't know, what is that? 5 meters tall, 15 feet tall. It's very waxy. And again, there's those female flowers right there. Female oak flowers. No one ever pays attention to the female oak flowers. Just the male catkins because they can cause allergies. What about the female flowers? And then we got a little bit of that diamorpha smallii, now Sedum smallii. I guess they lumped it into Sedum. That little annual still going off. So you can get a good look at those flowers. 4 petals, crassulaceous flower structure in keeping with the family Crassulaceae. Here's a little forest of those little pink bastards. Again, an annual because that's what makes sense, especially when it's so hot and dry out here in the summer. The annual habit is going to be selected for. You can see they just produce a ton of seed. Like most annuals, produce a ton of seed and then die. Live fast, bang, die young. Tons of seeds. Just waiting to go off. Oh, look at those anthers. There's kind of like a blue anther on them. Like a bluish beige. Check out the flowers here in this crossvine, Bignonia capreolata. Like so many members of order Lamiales, the sage order, 4 stamens in 2 unequal pairs. 2 pairs of unequal length. There's a style in there, and then the corolla falls off. Style persists, and then the fruit is in there maturing. You can see it's going to be an elongated little capsule fruit. Well, not little. It matures to about, I don't know, 50 times that size. But there it is. You see, I don't see that too much in cultivar. I wish I did. I'm probably growing in Chicago. Nice little stand of Rubus copalinum, winged sumac because it's got winged stems. Pretty widespread Rubus right there. Again, just barely on any soil right here. And then again, Vaccinium arboreum. And here is a species of elm, Ulmus alata, southeastern specialty, relatively shade intolerant, loves sun, slow growing. Small to medium-sized elm tree. Beautiful leaves, too. Look at all the different colors in there. The reds, you get a little bit of pubescence on the other side. Look at the texture of that abaxial leaf surface. Holy hell. Kind of doing a pendant thing here. Wonder how old that is. Tolerant of a bunch of different soil conditions. As you can see, it obviously tolerates stress pretty well. There's not a lot of soil right there. You got a little yucca too. What is that? Filamentosa? What is that? Here's another cool Quercus montana. Get the difference in color between the leaf underside and the top. Massive leaf too. With kind of it's got teeth, but they're kind of soft. And then more interesting is that unlike Quercus georgiana, the oak I just showed you, those are the female flowers right there. They come on their own little spikes. See that? So those are developing acorns. You can still see the style persistent on some of them, which is where the pollen would land. But that ovary swelling, and you can see the little acorn cap with all those little spiky bracts, little roofing shingle bracts. So that'll grow by, I don't know how long the acorns take to mature, 6 to 8 months, maybe, I don't know, a year and a half. Some acorns take 18 months. But those will swell to about 100 times their size, and you'll get an acorn. Yeah, that's a beautiful oak, man. Jesus. Here's another granite rocky microsite endemic, Tradescanthia hirsuta caulis. Whole thing's hairy as hell. Looks just like Ohiensis, but I mean from far away. And then you get close and you see just how hairy it is. And those subtending bracts all covered in hairs Flowers are different too. Doesn't have as many filaments as Ohayensis did, and they're a little bit smaller. The leaves are narrower too, and it doesn't get as big as Ohayensis. It's more adapted to a rockier, drier, more thin-soiled site. So this is a cool one, Ribes curvatum. You get Ribes all over the place. Baja Desert, just saw one in the Paramo of Costa Rica, Ribes costaricensis. This is the Atlanta area Ribes growing on a granite knob. This is Ribes curvatum. Look at those long stamens. You got a style in the middle, and of course there's the ovary, the maturing gooseberry or currant. Of course, this genus can be a host for a rust that infects pine trees as well. So I've heard they've discouraged, I don't know what the hell they've done. I don't know what local authorities in Georgia have done to discourage it at the interests of the timber industry, but it's a cool native regardless, and it's really important for wildlife. As you can imagine, anything that produces an edible berry would be. But I've seen a lot of variations on this genus. I've never seen one with long frilly white petals for flowers. And of course they're all a little spiny, a little mean. Crassulaceae is the family. Oh, this scraggly bastard is one of my favorite members of the citrus family. Another reason why common names are shit and you should stay away from them, because this is called hop tree or something ash. It's not related to hops or ashes. It's in Rutaceae, and when you crack a little piece off the distal end, because you don't want to hurt the tree too much, the distal end of that leaf, you'll smell it. It's got those volatiles that the rue family, the citrus family, is so well known for. Petilia trifoliata. Wonderful. Not getting too big right there. So there are the flowers. You can see 4 petals, 4 stamens. Oh, they got some little hairs at the base of it. You got an ovary in the center, so it's a bisexual flower. Glabrous leaves, like so many members of Rutaceae, the citrus family. And then the fruits are right there. Looking like little flakes. A flake with a little ball inside. Sunny balls. How many times am I going to say sunny balls today? Anyway, Petilia trifoliata. Probably a number of different ecotypes throughout North America, because it's got a widespread distribution. Goes into Texas too. Oh look, it's a little snail. Oh, he just went in his little. I just scared him. Anyway, look here, we got Sedum pusillum. Tiny little one, tiny little guy, growing in a moss bed right there. 4 petals, looks like the red one that you see out on the granite, but much more diminutive, and seems to like shadier sites. Has less of a tolerance towards full sun. So here's a genus that is much more species rich out west and tends to like it a little bit drier, just like the genus Eriogonum. Thrives in drier sites. You can see why. It's got all those hairs on it. This is the genus Phacelia. This is Phacelia maculata. And so a genus that's so species rich out west in more arid regions in North America, you can see why it's going to mostly be inhabiting thinner soil, drier sites in the eastern half of the country, the higher rainfall half of the country, because it's already pre-adapted to those drier sites. Look at the hairs on the leaves too. Some of these you got to watch out. They'll cause allergies in you. But you got that scorpioid cyme, hairs on everything. Boraginaceae is the family. You got hairs on the filaments too. I can't really see. Love a Phacelia though. And I had a dream when I got to the top of that mountain. There was a big old American flag and a cross. A big old stiffy. An American flag and a cross up top. Just to let you know where you are. Right that minute I popped an erection. That's right. Oh my. Oh, this is where they got the Klan. This is where they had the Klan rally. You see Colonel Sanders in a white suit with a pillowcase on his head doing a little dance. What do they do? They tap dancing? He's tap dancing on Klonopins over here, saying a bunch of racist shit. This is where they got the statues. It's the Memoirs of the Confederacy. I think if I puked right here, how much puke would I have to puke to have it run down onto the statue, I wonder. Like, they got signs, so they don't want you to go down there. They're already nervous about somebody vandalizing it. Anyway, appreciate the rocky microsites, dry areas. Completely different flora than the surrounding woodland. So many cool granite areas in Georgia. Just look at a geologic map. Download that rock app and look at. You'll see it's a lot of intrusive igneous shits all throughout northern Georgia. Good stuff. Once again, the geology dictates the plant life. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a great day. Go fuck yourself. Bye. Coming from far away in his native environment, we see the hippie coming to the spring to fill up water. We see him readily polluting these waterways with his communistic ways, looking like some sort of communist Jesus that comes here to pollute the minds of our Christian children.